One MS6 99 Z28. Just got finished energy suspension motor mounts and tapping for an oil pressure sender on the unused oil sender line near the oil filter underneath. I've got other videos on that. So today I'm going to be swapping out the oil pump. And first step, go ahead and yank the battery. Most likely that'll be needed unless your clamp is faced the opposite way for the lower radiator hose right there. So undo the lower radiator hose. We're going to be pulling the radiator. So take the air cleaner off. Go ahead and unplug the connections. There's one here. There's one here. Probably leave that one connected. Okay. Probably leave that back one connected there too. So unplug these two right here. And then take the cover off with these bolts right here. Don't know what size it is. There we go. That's a size 10. All right, size 10. Go underneath the car. Pop these off. Just stick a screwdriver right in that slot, right there, and pull backwards, and these things will open right up. Pop this harness off. There were two of them. One was connected there. Stick a screwdriver under the tab, pull out. Same thing with right here. Pull that out. Underneath, I don't believe it's bolted in. I believe it's just bolted in on the top, and it just slides in right there from the top. Okay. So, go ahead and pull the whole fan radiator unit out. That'll give us enough room to work. We're going to be yanking the water pump off up there, and then we're going to be pulling this pulley off right here. Then we're going to be taking the timing cover off. And then we're going to be dropping the oil pan by loosening all the bolts and dropping it. It'll fall down about an inch or so. Stay tuned. I removed the metal cover off the radiator, those 4 bolts. Okay. Now, just pop that lower radiator hose off. Now right here, I pull the condenser out of the fan. Just lift up on it, man, and it'll pop right out of that tab. Same thing on this side. Oh yeah, don't forget to lower or drain the radiator. There's a drain on the bottom, plastic drain. Just twist it with your fingers. Pop that out. Pull this straight up, pops out. Remove the upper radiator hose. I believe that's all that's in the way. So this, I'm gonna need both hands. Should come right out now. You know, I might have to wiggle and move this hose right here, the upper one. In fact, maybe I can do that now. Let's see here. Oh God, I'm hungry. I'm for lunch. All right, good enough. Probably replace my hoses while I'm in here. Yeah, that'll move. It looks like it is tabbed on the bottom, so you're gonna have to hold this while pulling up at the same time, and this will pop it out of the retainer tabs on the bottom. Should lift right out. So looks like there's another hose right here, this little skinny guy. So undo that one also. It's out. I found it easier to unhitch the fan and pull it out from the bottom as the first step. Those little plastic tabs here, basically you just lift from underneath the car. You push up on this thing, and it just, you know, it slides into these tabs right here, you know, and the fan will just lower from the bottom. Now, don't forget to disconnect the coolant level sensor also, or you break that off. And then after that, you just wiggle the fan up. A little bit of a pain in the neck. I'm sorry, the radiator up. A little bit of a pain, but came out. Okay. So that'll give us enough room to work up front. From here, I'm going to disconnect the water pump. Now, it only has a few retaining bolts here. I believe it's this one, this one. I'm going to research this more. I can see this whole unit looks like the water neck is integral. This is my first time, remember, with the water pump. So I'm going to leave that on because it doesn't look like that causes it to mount to the engine. So I'm going to try yanking that one, this one down here, and then up here I'm going to yank this one, and there's a third one down there. Looks like the whole thing will come right off. Now when I get the water pump off, I might try tapping it for coolant level sensor also for an odometer gauge, because I hear you can do that. Okay, stay tuned. Very solid progress. Water pump is off. That's what we look like with the water pump off. Next, I'll be playing with that crank bolt. Probably have to use my air compressor for that. It was those 6 bolts I mentioned that come out. 3 on this side, 3 on this side. This one, a little bit difficult to get to at the very bottom driver's side. Some may need to use a wrench. I was able to actually use a short socket and get enough of it on there for it to catch. And the whole assembly comes off. So there it is. And you can tap this for a water sender. I gotta do some research. Might be there. Maybe on the bottom near the thermostat. So I'll look into that. I'm back once again. I had to run out to Harbor Freight to get some damn sockets. Most of my sockets are metric from working on old beasts like that. So the crank bolt needs a 24. I've read in tutorials online. You can put it in 5th gear, break the bolt loose, blah blah. I've got a pretty powerful air compressor. I'm just gonna do it that way. You can also use strapping wrenches, which are I have one with a chain, but I think most of the newer ones come with like a rubber belt and a big handle, and you just put it around the pulley, and it allows you to hold the pulley while you turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire my compressor up, and I'm going to buzz that right off. And then I'm going to use, I got a couple different ones. A 3-job puller is what I told I was needed. Also got these at Harbor Freight. They come in kits of various sizes. Hopefully I've got the right one. And from what I understand, you want to put it on the inside bolt, not the outside. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, right here there's a lip, right here there's a lip, and there's a lip right there too. So I think that we can use those points to mount the hooks to it, and then pull it. So I'll be back. Bolt is off. It's kind of ridiculous. My almighty compressor couldn't even touch it. If I had to guess, it's got about 240, 250 pounds of torque on it. More than I've ever had on any of my Fords. Quite nuts. That's a 24-inch socket, or 24mm socket, by the way. I had to use a cheater. I used my jack handle. I think you guys can use that on top of a breaker. And that's how I got it. So let's throw my back into it. Now this 3-prong tool works very nicely. You see it's latched onto those tabs I was talking about. Okay, there's a good view underneath. And just spinning it off now. It's almost off. Should have enough threads on this. If not, I can rearrange the hooks. And like I said, I have more of these anyhow. So after that, we're going to pull the timing cover. Timing cover are all these little bolts that go all the way around it. Okay, here's another one. That'll come off next after this. The biggest, most absolute pain in the ass ever. I've broken 2 of the smaller 3-job pullers. They're all over the floor. And finally, I got a bigger 3-job puller. Broke out the bigger guns. Hate to say it, but the Fords are a lot easier. The Fords actually just thread into the balancer with bolts. This 3-jaw grabbing bullshit is bullshit. But nonetheless, I got it. I guess Ford and Chevy can never do 2 things alike, huh? They always got to be different. Whatever. This is by far the worst part of the job. At least so far. now I gotta leave to pick up my kid, so this will be resume tomorrow. I'm gonna pull out all those little bolts all the way up. See all those little bolts on the timing cover? Those are all coming out next, and then I'm gonna drop the pan. There's a couple bolts in the back. Whatever. Burn out on this crap. Alright, got down to the meat of the project. Pulled the timing cover. It was just the bolts on the side, like I said. Those are 10 millimeter. Those are easy to get to. Drop the pan. Everything's 10 millimeter. The hardest bolts are under the cross member, but you get those with a wrench, so it's all pretty easy. It's about as much as the pan's going to wiggle. You're going to have to get to that bolt right there. Okay? And that's the one you don't want to fall into the pan. So, other than that, should be a cakewalk from here. Absolutely no interest in dropping this bolt into the pan, so I've just tied a wire around it. When it goes back in, I'll probably tie a coat hanger wire, something more rigid around it. Got the bolt out. Yeehaw! Should all be downhill from here. Alright, let's see what happens. I got the 4 mounting bolts off, 2 on each side. They say to kind of twist. They say it gets tricky. Twist clockwise. Well, there's not a fucking hell of a lot of room to twist it, is there? Huh. Oh, okay, I see what they mean. Twist clockwise this way. Okay, there it is. Okay. Ah, shit. Okay. So there it is. Here's what it looks like. I think I'm going to replace that. Should be a seal down there. Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's in here. Put my glasses on. Yeah, I can feel it. It's a seal down there at the base. It's pretty hard. So, I'm going to replace the seal, and I'll show you the new one. Standard volume regular melling pump is what I went with. Okay. M295. Here's the original. Alright.